1055, the Colorado Sound. And remember, you can hear us around the world at coloradosound.org. I always appreciate you making us part of your day. My name's Ben. Rodrigo y Gabriela, they have a new album coming out called Our Home. It'll be released on September 17th, and you can also see them at the Boulder Theater November 6th. And those details you can always find at our concert calendar at coloradosound.org. I'm happy to be sitting with one half of Rodrigo y Gabriela. I'm here with Gabriela. Thanks for being here.
Hello, thanks for having me. Such a great pleasure for me to be here.
Oh, absolutely. Likewise. Let's talk about your new album a little bit. It's called Our Home. Like I said, comes out September 17th. How would you, Gabriela, how would you describe it as, how would it differ from your previous work?
Well, this album it's kind of we go back to the acoustic sound mainly, although we had bits and pieces of a little bit of electric guitar here and there, but and 90% of it we came back to the acoustic, which is what we usually do. But for the last two albums, Metavolution and also In Between Thoughts, those two albums had electronic things, So this was a very also personal album that it came out. We started writing this. This is a very long story, but I think it's like it's what has got us back, to the acoustics mainly.
Yeah, so let's piggyback off that a little bit. You're going back to the acoustics, which is what you always did with your previous albums, like you said, except for the last two,
Yeah.
which you included some electric guitars. And I've always wondered because listening to your guys' music, it's very clear that you're heavy metal fans, even though you mostly do acoustic guitars. But I remember listening to some of your previous albums and always thinking, like, man, if that was an electric guitar, it would be a heavy metal song. So I guess what I'm asking you is, what is your relationship to heavy metal?
Well, we both started metal heads, We both, when we were teenagers and or also early 20s, we went with mainly into guitar-based music, and metal music is based on guitars, It's a
Absolutely.
guitar bands, and so we were both crazy about guitar, and it happens that metal music has a lot of guitars and solos. So we started with bands in Mexico, like metal bands, thrash metal bands, mainly influenced by Pantera, Sepultura, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, all of the usual suspects of metal. And yeah, so
So you being just to talk about that a little longer, like you being these big heavy metal heads, what made you decide to go mostly acoustic? What led to that?
what happened was like, as I said, we also loved other musics that they were based on guitar. So it was something that it was always permanent.
Mm,
But I guess what happens was, since we were trying to become famous with a metal band, and we were trying to make a living, and just uh, we just completely failed. So
yeah.
we said, okay, let's quit the band and quit all of that, but not music and not guitar. So let's travel the world. And we, at that time, we lived in Mexico City, and it was chaotic and crazy, and we didn't want to move because of the band. Everything was
Right.
because of the band. So when we decided, forget it. So we're done with that, but not with music. We said, oh, I think we can travel, and so we decided to travel and play. But it was easier to play, to bring a acoustic guitar, and also was friendlier to most people. Like if
Mm,
you were trying to play in a bar or something, um, the background music or something, acoustic guitar was more friendlier to the ear of
sure.
everybody. So that's when we decided to exchange.
Sure. I'd love to. I'm talking to Gabriela, by the way, one half of Rodrigo y Gabriela. They have their new album, Our Home, coming out September 17th. And remember, they're playing the Boulder Theater here in Colorado, November 6th. I'd love to hear a little more about your musical journey, your musical origins. Because as far as if I remember correctly, you were both born in Mexico, but you spent a lot of time in Ireland. So just let's start from the beginning. How did this musical journey start for Rodrigo y Gabriela?
It started with a metal band, and then we exchanged the electric guitars for acoustics, and so we came to play in this paradise place called Cihuatanejo,
Mm,
which is in South Pacific in Mexico, and it's like a tourist town and all of that. So
yeah.
we started playing in all sorts of weddings and background music in the hotels, and we're just doing all of that and with the acoustics. And then with our idea was to go to Europe and travel Europe and play everywhere. And it was just like going crazy. Yes, no rules. So we end up saving a little bit of money, and then we bought a ticket to. We didn't know which country to start in Europe, so we decided Ireland. So
Oh, okay.
okay, went to Ireland, and then we kind of got stuck there. We didn't have more money to go anywhere else, and we actually loved it there because you find out that it's such a musical country,
Yeah.
and so we stayed there for 10 years or more.
Yeah, I mean, Ireland doesn't seem like too bad of a place to be stuck in. So,
No, it's great.
um, let's talk a little more about your album, Our Home, which comes out September 17th. You've released two songs that we're playing. You have Monster and the title track. I'd love to hear the story behind both those songs.
Oh, great. Well, Our Home, which is the that track that gives the name to the album, is it was something before we wrote that piece of music. Let me tell you a little bit. Right after In Between Thoughts and New World, we kind of were a little sort of, we didn't know where to go. We were kind of messing around a lot, doing a lot of demos, and we went to Los Angeles to do a demo with the producer and session musicians. So we're experimenting, and we got a great track out of that with the drums and bass, and everything it sounded incredible. But it was like not super sure, because is this our sound really? Like, it's our music, but it's how are we gonna present this?
Right.
So we were in the middle of that, messing around with everything and being distracted and all of that, when our kitty cat named Pelusa here at the studio, she passed.
Oh,
And that really, it was it was tremendous for both of us, and Pablito, who also works with us here at the studio. And Pelusa survived a disease for 5 years, and it was just time for her to let her go.
yeah.
And that touched us really deep. So Rodrigo went home and wrote the melody for Our Home.
Oh,
And he came back and showed it to me, and so I added all different harmonies and the bridge and everything. So in a day, we had that track. And so it was like, oh, now we have a new tune,
mm,
and it was just like this, instead of all of those months and years trying to come up with these tracks, blah, blah, blah. So kind of flow, and also we did it on the acoustics.
yeah.
So this was like a message from Pelusa, the kitty cat, that's saying, stop messing around, stop this nonsense, go back to the acoustics. So the lesson is listen to your cat, because they're
Yes.
very nice.
Yes.
So, and also then the title came after, but the piece was for Pelusa, and
Mm,
it just brought us to this, just very simple, two guitars, nothing else. Well,
yeah. I
and,
I love the line of listen to your cats. That
yes,
hit very hard to me
yes.
because my cat is a tyrant in my home. She's basically a dictator. So I have to listen to her. Yes.
The Pelusa was a dictatorship also.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
My wife always says that dogs have masters and cats have help. So
Exactly.
I am of the help for my cat. Yes. What about your song? What about your song Monster? You know, you just told us
Monster.
about Our Home, but what about Monster? It's a great tune.
Oh, great. Yeah, well, Monster was, we would sort of pay homage to one of our favorite series, an artist called Naoki Urasawa, which is like a genius. He writes some incredible manga stories, and also
Oh,
this Monster, it was animated back in the early 2000s, and it's a series that I think is in some of the platforms now. And it's a psychological thriller, but
oh,
it's very, very philosophical. You really need to kind of, there's a lot of thought about it, and a incredibly well crafted story. So the first time I kind of saw it, I told Rod, and then Rodrigo saw it, and then we both were so wow. So when we started working on this piece, we thought, oh, we should name this a monster, you know,
I love
because
it.
some of the parts I kind of picture a monster, which in the original story there's not a physical monster, you know,
Oh, it's like a metaphor.
it's a metaphor. And so, but in Japan also we got the pleasure and opportunity to meet the author, the creator, and
Oh,
he
that's cool.
was he's a fan of us, you know, which
Wow.
was fantastic, you know. So we did a collaboration with him, and he did this sort of video with us in the landscape of a very important landscape of one of the scenes of the story. So he
Yeah.
drew us, me and Rodrigo, there in this landscape. So we were so delighted.
That's amazing. I'm picturing you and Rodrigo meeting him, and you're like, "Oh my God, we're such big fans." He's like, "No, I'm such a big fan of you," and then you're like, "No, we're bigger fans of you," and then no, you.
No, me.
I have one more for you, Gabrielle. I'm talking to Gabriela, one half of Rodrigo y Gabriela. Remember their show at the Boulder Theater is November 6th, and they have that new album, Our Home, coming out on September 17th. So, Gabriella, I have one more question for you, and I ask this to every band artist that I talk to, so I'd love to hear your answer. So, the radio station is 105.5 FM, 105.5 the Colorado Sound. So,
Mhm.
what band or artist would you drive 105.5 miles to go see? And it can be any band or artist ever. It could be it could be Beethoven. You just have to drive 105.5 miles. And now I'm
Oh,
not and now if you need that translated to kilometers, it would be 169.7 kilometers.
well, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So like, how far away from the moon, for example?
The moon is quite a bit further than this drive.
Okay. So just drive. Oh my goodness, how many? Like, that's it's so very many, you know. Like, but if it, I guess if it can be from the past.
It can be any band or artist ever.
But see, I'm
Yes.
gonna have to confess myself here. I love the Beatles.
Oh, I mean, that's a great answer. Come
You
on. I mean, it's
know,
the
like,
Beatles.
oh man, I love to be able to see the Beatles when they started.
Yeah, that is a I mean, how could that be a bad answer? It's the Beatles we're talking about. I mean, oh my
Yeah,
goodness. I'd drive to the edge of the universe I'd drive across the universe to see
across
the
the universe, me too.
Beatles. It's Gabriela of Rodrigo y Gabriela. One more time, remember their Boulder Theater shows November 6th. They also have a new album, Our Home, coming out on September 17th. Gabriela, really appreciate your time and good luck with everything.